it's Corey and Denise from Does Size Matter, and we are at the Wildwood Convention Center for the Fall RV Show here in Wildwood, New Jersey. Cool place, tons of RVs, so of course we're here. But among other things we're doing, of course, we wanted to film and get some more RV reviews for you today. So we are going to do a construction video of the Newmar. Now remember, this is the construction video, so it's going to cover an overall amount of information on the Newmars, not specific to the Country Star. So when we go into each of the different models, we'll get a little more specific for you, but this is just the general overall Newmar video. So remember, everything we tell you is based on the research that Corey and I do and our opinions on how we would use the RV. So it might be different for you. So watch these and learn as much as you can and then apply it to your own situation. We will have a link at the end for, the specific models and things like that. So make sure you stay till the end and click on that. We do try to share some of our resources with you as we go, where we get some of our research information from, and I want to tell you about rvreviews.net. So that's a website that is also unbiased like us. They do a ton of research, and we get information from them, and you can too by just clicking on their website, and you can get general information or specific. So give them a click and see what you can find there. So talking about the chassis on the Newmars, there's a wide spread, between the gas engines and the diesel engines. So from 2019 and older, they were using the Ford F53 V10 with about 320 horse, 400 torque, 6.8 liter 6-speed transmissions. On the gas model, and then around into the 2020s they made some changes to a 7.3 liter V8 10-speed transmission. So that's what you can expect in a 2020 gas engine. Still the Ford F53, but they made some changes there. Then on the other end of the spectrum, they are using the Spartan K3, 605 horsepower Cummins XIS with the Allison 4000 MH transmission. That's big, that's huge, it has lots of power. I don't know, you could go anywhere in that. So those are the two sort of spectrums, and then there's different Freightliner chassis on other models in between, and we will talk about that some more when we go through each of the individual models. Over top of the chassis, Newmar puts their Star Superstructure, and I wanted to explain that a little bit more to you, but it is a all steel structure that they have put around the chassis. So there is a Z-type, and you can see part of it here, framing that goes up and around the chassis. So the point of that is to distribute the weight of the walls and the heavy slides down to below the chassis to a lower center of gravity, so that it'll give you a better ride and it balances things a little better. The reason they put it above the chassis as well is because they can make the superstructure completely square, where we all know that a chassis isn't always coming to the factory completely square. So they put the superstructure on there. They have a perfectly square foundation with which to apply the walls and the housing unit to. So you get a much better, more precise level housing unit. And then if you come in, you might be able to see this. I'm going to just refer to my notes here. You get a moisture barrier. And then above that, they use some fiberglass insulation. They use 2x3 wood stringer joists on 16-inch centers and a 5/8-inch decking structure that looks a lot like OSB to me, so I think that's what it is. And then on top of that is where they put their final flooring, whether that be a vinyl rollout, a vinyl tile with grouting, or your ceramic tile or carpet. So another point is that the grout that they use between their tiles has an epoxy in it, and that just allows the grout to flex and move a little bit to avoid cracking and things as you're driving down the road. So it is quite a unique structure underneath here to give you the most support and the best ride and keep your housing unit square and sturdy. Talking about the Newmar construction of the walls, there's a whole lot to know because these are double insulated walls. So from the inside out, you've got your decorative wall paneling, and then it moves to a 5/8 inch foam, and then there's a vapor barrier there, and then you go to the aluminum frame. So let's just step back a little bit. Over that vapor barrier, they're spraying a glue and then attaching also fiberglass batting to that so that it won't sag. So you get the foam and the fiberglass batting insulation in these walls. Also of note is that the aluminum studs in these are a C channel, so they're like that. Often the aluminum that's used in a wall is a fully enclosed aluminum tube. So what's important to note about that is it allows them to tuck that batting insulation right into the studs. So there's no dead space. Also in the studs, there are circle cutout openings that help to reduce weight, but they also allow them to put the plastic grommets into the walls and run the wiring through the walls like you would a house. So it's important in an aluminum stud that you are protecting the wiring going through there, so you can be assured that on the Newmar that is happening. Next they move out to the fiberglass outer wall, and they put these on in a screwed and glued fashion. So they're screwed all the way around, and then on each of those aluminum joists they have a glue, and they put that all together and hold it really tight to get that glue to fasten and stick together. Now, it's a very good Super Duty strong glue, but it also has a bit of flex to it and never dries hard, so it never becomes brittle, and it can still move a bit, which is exactly what you need when you're rolling down the road. Also to note is that the slides are also aluminum structures as well, but we're going to talk more about slides when we go inside. So let's move on to the roof next. When we're talking about the roof construction on a Newmar, it's quite complex, so I'm going to have to refer to my notes. But if you're starting on the inside, you've got sort of your decorative or padded vinyl. Then it moves into, it tells me a 3/16-inch panel. I'm not exactly sure what that panel is and couldn't find out more information. So if I learn more about that, I'll let you know. But then it moves on to a 5/8-inch foam. There's a vapor barrier, and then it moves on to the aluminum rafters. And those are a crowned aluminum rafter, and they are also on 16-inch centers. The ducting for the AC is run through those rafters, and then there's some batting, fiberglass batting insulation around there too. And then it moves up to the finishing product on the outside, and that varies between the different models. All are fiberglass except for the Baystar and the Baystar Sport, which uses a Bright Tech, which is a plastic type of finishing on the roof. So then there's two other types of roofs, those with an integrated awning and those with a non-integrated awning. The non-integrated awning have a radius roof, and the integrated one has a flat roof. They all have a trim piece that goes down over the corners, and this is screwed down into the aluminum, and then it has a rubber piece that goes across the side to prevent any water or anything from getting in. And that, depending on the unit, could be a fiberglass or an aluminum wrap. Also, all of the openings on the Newmar, the windows and doors and things, are aluminum framed, and the front cap is also insulated, which is nice when you're driving down the road and it's cold outside. When we're talking about the exterior of the Newmars, the paint process is just holy cow. When we were at the factory and we went through the paint area, it was amazing how much precision and work goes into this. These are full body paint. They mask them off and paint over and over in order to get you all the colors and all the graphics. They even come along with a razor blade and do scrape the actual seams of the different layers to keep it smooth and in this beautiful high gloss finish. So I do have to say that this is a superior full body paint finish. So the other thing I want to show you, and you're just going to have to trust me because you probably can't see it, but Newmar puts a diamond shield coating all through the front of the rig. It goes right up to here, And this is a protective coating to, you know, protect against bugs and scratches and things that are coming at the front. They also put it around the door handle here and the keys so that, you know, when you're, maybe you had a few too many and you're trying to get the key in the hole, you're not scratching up your door. I don't know, has that ever happened to anybody? Not us, I'm just saying. Slide mechanisms on the Newmars also have a range of different types. They do use an electric cog wheel that runs the rack and pinion through. And then on up to other systems that are hydraulic and have large chain mechanisms that run through. So, you know, depending on the slide, depending on the weight, and depending on the level of your coach would depend on which system is used. So make sure you ask those questions so that you understand how they work. Newmar is a leader and innovator in slides, so it's important to talk about that with them. On the inside of the slides, it's kind of hard to tell you because we're here to show and they've got all the slides open. But when the slide comes in on the side, there is a locking mechanism back there, which is also unique to Newmar, but it's not on every Newmar. So you want to take a look at that too, because that's going to change the going in and out of your slide. And then I want to show you this. I love this. Look at there. This floor in the slide, and it's on all the slides, sits right down flush. It's beautiful, it's clean, I just love it. You don't have that little lip that have always been on slides up until now. So basically how this works is when the slide is coming in, it lifts up and comes into the house like this. As it goes out, it's going, and then it drops down and it's even. And frankly, this is the seam right here. You can't even tell that it's there. And they even have it on the other side under carpet, but it's still completely flush under there. I love it. I wish I could have that. But I guess I gotta buy a new rig if I want that.
I just want to talk about Newmar's steering system. They've got what they call comfort drive, and what that does is it keeps the steering wheel centered so the RV goes down the road in a true fashion. It adjusts for things like wind, road camber, just reduces driver fatigue. It's easier for parking. So another thing they have on their larger units with the tag axles, it's called passive steer, and what that does is it actually turns the tag wheel so that you can get a tighter turning radius, and they're saying it's about 15% tighter radius you can turn with a tag axle than with a non-tag axle, which is actually amazing because I wish we had that. Lots of times we can't make the corners tight enough and we end up having to back up, so that would overcome that problem. That would be a great thing.
Come on, no, come on in.
I'm looking for my wife, it's all right.
I heard she was down the way buying the...
Not down the travel trailer section.
No. I think she was just signing papers. We don't usually talk about all the details of warranties and which ones have which type of warranty on them, but I did want to mention, because in my research I found out that the Spartan company, so just on the chassis, has put out a new 5-year, 75,000 mile warranty on that. So that seems like a significant amount, and I wanted to mention that. So I wanted to talk about customer satisfaction as well, because Newmar's always had a great level of customer satisfaction. But in recent years, it had sort of dipped a little. Now, I'm not talking dropped here. I'm not talking got really bad, but there was a bit of a dip, and then people start to question things. And I want to just sort of explain why that might have happened. I'm not the expert, so I don't know for sure. But they moved into a bit of a different market in the gas coach market, which is a lower price point, different features, and then they were also selling a larger volume. And when you start to do that, there is a chance for more people to have some issues. Those issues were not huge. They've been taken care of. I think the customer satisfaction is back up where it was before. So if you'd heard about any dips or things like that, don't panic. Newmar's great. They're back to where they've always been. Well, that wraps up the construction video on the Newmar coaches. They are wonderful coaches, and we're going to put a link up to a specific model as well, and hopefully we'll get to film a whole bunch more. If this video has helped you in any way, please let us know in the comments, and don't forget to hit the like button and hit the subscribe if you haven't already. We love having you along with us. Thanks for watching.